Hey folks, Levi here once again. Welcome back to another movie review. I know it's a bit, well, late at night. It's about, not too late, but it's like 10:30. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed my review of Hellboy Blood and Iron, and I hope you all been enjoying my reviews on my channel. Um, Back to another 2000s era superhero review. This film came out in 2007. It's the CGI animated film, TMT. Yes. As y'all know, I've been doing a superhero marathon on my channel, and I've been on the 2000s era superhero movies around the year 2007. And my next review is this, TMT, 2007. Yeah, and I also wanted to mention, my new channel with the match profile picture on it, just to keep on subscribing to that one. Please share the channel. I appreciate it. It really does help support my channel as well. Thank you for the 87 subscribers, guys. We're nearly at 100, but there will be no Q&A till I get to 500 subs. That's my plan. Sorry. But anyway, yes, this channel. And to let you know, I did share my review of all the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, including my TV show collection part 32 for it. Uh, it's also on 3 seasons. And for the 90s movies right here. Yes. This is on my new channel right now. I put that on the playlist. This is from my other channel, but you can still watch my reviews if you want to know my thoughts on these first 3 movies right here. Quick setup though, I do love the Teenage Mutant Turtles, the original movie. This is the best Turtles movie in my opinion. I love this movie, classic. I love Teenage Mutant Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. It's a fun sequel. I do have my problems with it, my issues with it, but to me, it's the last great teenage Ninja Turtles film, in my opinion. It's the last good one. And I did review Turtle Tunes. Eventually, maybe next month for Christmas, I'll review We Wish Your Turtles Christmas. It will probably be a rant, but I'll put a positive review in there. And Teenage Mutant Turtles 3, which I hate. I didn't ever rant on that this year. Those reviews about, well, one was back in December. Yeah. And I think the other was in January or February. I can't remember. It was either February or March when I reviewed. But I hate Ninja Turtles 3. And what do I think of this movie, though? The two that, okay, before I get to that. Yes, those reviews are on my playlist and some of my other superhero reviews as well, which will be added to this as well. But yeah, just check out my new channel. Just remember that, you know, it's Levi McNally. Just put Levi McNally 983, and that is my new channel. But what do, and like I said, I've been on the year 2007. Sorry for going off. But like I said, TMT, now, I thought this movie was decent in my opinion. I thought it was okay. I can get some entertainment out of it. I do think it's the last decent thing for Ninja Turtles come out of a movie. I do think it's better than Ninja Turtles 3 in my opinion. I think it's better than the Michael Bay ones, and I'd rather watch this than the new one. The CGI looks better in here, at least in my opinion, for the time. Looks really good. I don't like Mutant Mayhem. I don't like the look of it. It just looks awful. It's a film I really don't look forward to. At least this film, from what I heard, that film has either stupid fart jokes or stupid lines of dialogue. Yeah, at least Mikey's not farting in this one, or they're not doing stupid childish jokes. And when the humor comes in play, it works in this movie. Not 100%, but it's better than the Melon's stupid toilet humor or stupid comedy half the time. You know, you want a better cartoon from Ninja Turtles. It might not be better, but it's a lot better than. I'd rather watch this than Mutant Mayhem, in my opinion. But yeah, I had some fun with it. But it is a film that has many issues, and I will get to those. So let's get into the production of it. Development. An animated teenage. Well, at this time, you also had the 2003 cartoon. When Ninja Turtles 3 came out, Turtles' popularity you know, was downhill from there. It went really downhill real bad. And when you had Turtles 3 and that flopped, and that was really hated and well deserved hated because it's a shitty movie. And the Turtles kind of skyrocket down. But you had the 2003 cartoon, which I love that cartoon. Probably saved the Turtles in my opinion. But anyway, for development of this movie, an animated Teenage Mutant Turtles film was first announced in 2000. So I guess they wanted to, do an animated movie since live action didn't really work anymore. Especially, you look at the Turtles 3 with them having spots and stuff. They did have a TV show, but I don't remember I guess it was from the 90s some point. I don't know, never seen it, or 1997. But I heard it was awful. But anyway, with John Woo supposedly directing, John Woo, who has directed many action movies like classics like Hard Target, a mini movie, Hard Target, Hard Boiled, The Killer, Once a Thief. Yeah. and he directed Broken Arrow. But the project language and development hell. And Wu ultimately moved to other projects. TMT executive producer by the character's co-creator Peter Laird departs from the previous film's live action style and is the first CGI animated film in the series. Writer-director Ken Monroe said that he wanted to do total CGI instead of live action. And CGI Turtles became it would be easier for the audience to suspend disbelief for such an offbeat story. And there would be no break in the reality between CGI and live action. Producer Tom Gray explained that the decision to depart from the live action series was due to escalating budget for the three films, and with each film making less than its predecessor, a CGI film became a reality. For example, the first film made $135 million on a budget of $13.5 million, and the third made $44 million on a budget of $21 million. Orange Sky Golden Harvest rights to the franchise had expired, and Gray said the question arose, I'm sure right after the failure of Teenage Mutant Turtles 3 over CGI TMT film in 2004 writing. Monroe stated in the terms of storyline that ideas were floated as a dream as the turtles being in space, but eventually it just came back to New York City and the theme of the family that had fallen apart. When developing the screenplay, Monroe wanted to take on a less lighthearted tone or less cowbunga and place in a dark element as shown in the original comics to appeal to the mature audience. I had a very specific tone because mixing that sort of action and comedy is a very specific thing. Most people were just coming and wanting to make it too funny. I think that the version of the movie could do really well, but we wanted to do something where it sort of pushes the element a little bit more and says that animation is more than just comic animals bumping into each other and farting. Monroe said that the design and the rendering of the animation he was after fell of a comic. Kira was one of the Monroe's favorite characters from the comics. Kira is the daughter of the Shredder, Oroku Saki, who pushed for Kira to appear in the film. TMT co-creator Peter Laird stated it takes place in its own universe separated from the previous films, but director Monroe says the film exists in the same continuity as the other films, which was supported by the memento well at the end of the film. Development and production of TMT began June 2005. Los Angeles facility and CGI animation was produced in Hong Kong, followed by post-production in Hollywood. In designing the New York backdrop, art director concept artist Simon Muttrell stylized the familiar Manhattan skyline and landscapes. We began with the cinematic cues from certain black and white films from the 1940s and 50s. I really wanted to push the lighting and the information to create the look of virtual reality. The animators that worked on the fight sequences were inspired by Hong Kong action films. Animation director Ken Wu explains because of the CGI they were able to push and stylize beyond the limits of live action. Imagine use Alan McCool with Pixar's Renderman Productions pipelines and casting. Jim Cummings was the only past TMT actor to appear in this film, where he had previously did voice work in the 1987 cartoon series. The film also features three voice actors in the Ratchet and Clank series: Mikey Kelly and Kevin Michael Richardson from the first game, and James Arnold Taylor from the others, playing Michelangelo and Leonardo and General Aklu and Leonardo, respectively. TMT will be Mako's final acting role. Mako was announced as the voice of Splinter July 20, 2006. He didn't die. He then died the next day, which is sad. I'll get to him later, but at age 72. A dedication to Mako appears at the end of the film's credits. Although Mako is the only actor credited in the role, Greg Baldwin performs a proportion of Splinter's dialogue in the finished film. Baldwin had already mimicked Mako's voice when he took up the lead actor's role as Aaron in the produced animated series Avatar: Last Airbender. And he used president to specifically lobby to join the cast of TMT as Splinter following Mako's death. For the release, they San Diego Comic Con, they did a panel, with the voiceover, trailers and stuff, tie-ins. Sorry. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, for the film's marketing, they had TV spot trailers. Uh, I didn't know this, but McDonald's had toys out for the movie. Yeah, you had toys out for the film. They had the candy Airheads for the marketing for the movie. And there was also two video games based on it as based on this movie as well. Yeah, which was a 3 beat 'em up action adventure game, video game consoles like PlayStation 2. Let's just talk about those games really quick. Yeah, just an image of the game. The gameplay of TMNT contains many segments of the event of another game service, and I guess you play as the turtles fighting enemies throughout the city. Probably follows the same story, but I've never played the game before. There's another game title with also released on Xbox 360, Wii, the Wii, and PlayStation 2, GameCube, Microsoft Windows, Nintendo DS, and PlayStation Portable. Yeah. Can't talk too much about them because I didn't play them. Just bringing it up in this review. All right. And for the voice cast, you have Chris Evans as Casey Jones, who's Edward's boyfriend and friend of the Turtles, who engages in his own crime fighting. He wears the hockey mask like Casey Jones. Uh, Elilas Coates, who played in the first Teenage Mutant Turtles film, the original movie, and Turtles 3, sadly, well, nothing to do. He does have, at least he doesn't have to babysit in this movie, but he's voiced by Chris Evans. Casey Jones is their friend. He's also a crime fighter as well, a vigilante as well. Yeah, he helps Turtles, and he's good friends with Raphael, and he wears the hockey mask. Elias Coates, to me, is still the best, in my personal opinion, the best Casey Jones. Chris Evans, I thought, he did decently with the voice. Chris Evans, you actually know he's done the superhero movies before. Now, before this, he played Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Fantastic Four from 2005. And this year would also come out the sequel, Fantastic Four: Rise of You know, it came out the same year, but he reprised the role for Human Torch, Johnny Storm. He's done other movies as well, like Nose Piercer. I really like Cellular. That's an underrated movie. I probably like it more than this, but that's just me. But y'all should also know him as Captain America in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting with the role in Captain in 2011, the First Avenger, the Winter Soldier, uh, Civil War, and of course all the Avengers movies he was in, and he had a cameo I think in the Thor: The Dark World as well. So yeah, and he voiced Buzz Lightyear in the Lightyear film Lightyear, which I really have no interest in seeing, but that's just me. And then you have Sarah Michelle Gellar as April O'Neil, a young Victorian archaeologist reporter. Well, she's an archaeologist in here, which is fine with me. And she owns a shipping company, and of course her and Casey have a boyfriend and girlfriend in here. April is like the one. She's the first to actually meet them. She's a reporter usually, and she helps them out. Sarah Michelle Gellar, but I think y'all should know her as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Uh, she was in the movies. I Know What You Did. She was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, the first one. Scream 2. She was in that. Cruel Intentions. She was Daphne Blake. And Scooby Doo 2002 and Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. The Grudge, Southland Tales, which I've never seen. Like I said, I think she was Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the TV. There was a TV series, and she did a voice to Gwendy Dawn Small Soldiers. Yeah. Then you have Mako, the late Mako, which as in Greg Baldwin as Splinter Minute Rat, who is leader of the Turtles, who is their master. He's their father and sensei. Mako, Mako was a really good actor. Always a fan of him. Just let me mention some movies I think that I've seen him in. I know, of course, that he was in Conan the Barbarian. He was Arthur the Wizard. You know, Conan. He did a really good job with the voice. And Conan the Destroyer, he was in the sequel as well. He was in The Perfect Weapon. He was in RoboCop 3, sadly. You know, I don't blame him for that movie. He was in that movie much anyway, so make a probably get a paycheck for that. He was in Highlander 3. Wait a minute, he was in. Oh yeah, he was in Pacific Heights with Michael Keaton and Matthew Modine. I remember him in that movie. He did a voice for Mr. Yaku. Rory Rory in Paris the movie, and of course this film. But yeah, I miss Mako. He's a really good actor. I think he was also in an episode of Magnum PI. Oh, he was in an episode of The Green Hornet. Okay, from the '60s. Just where he was an episode of the A Team. Like I said, A Team Magnum PI. Was he in Star Trek? I don't know. I'm trying to find it. But yeah, I miss Mako. He was a really good actor. Yeah. But he's done some voices for SquarePants, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Samurai Jack, The Ghost of Molly McPhee, and Kevin Smith as an unnamed cook at the diner where the Night Watcher fights this Jersey Devil. Kevin Smith, y'all probably know that he's directed something like Jane Silent Bob, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Clerks 1 and 2, and Clerks 3. Yeah. And he also was in Live Free or Die Hard 4. So, and Patrick Stewart as Max Winters, as businessman who's really the immortal warlord Yoto, who desires to be immortal again and to make amends for his past. Patrick Stewart, y'all should know that he was in another superhero movie. Well, he was in Star Trek: The Next Generation, uh, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. He was Professor Xavier in the X-Men movies. I think up to Logan, and well, had a small part in Doctor Strange. Uh, more like a cameo in Doctor Strange. Uh, Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. So yeah, and he's done voice of the characters. He was I think he voiced King Kubat. Did some voices for Jimmy Neutron, the Prince of Egypt. The Prince of Egypt. He voiced Pharaoh, the Pharaoh. That movie. I'm trying to look up his filmography. I'm not gonna look it all up. But if you've seen the Prince of Egypt and some of the movie, like I said, Prince of Egypt, Jimmy Neutron, Breaks Genius, Chicken Little. He did some voice work for. And he voice over for Ted. Sabine King as Pyre, the sheriff's former second in command and new leader of the Foot Clan. I don't know if I've seen this actress in anything that voice her. She was in Rush Hour 2. Wait a minute. Hulu. Let's see. Sorry, I can't even say the damn name right. Let's see. Oh, Hulu. Okay, yeah, she was the second antagonist of Rush Hour 2. Where Chris Tucker Carter, was like crazy ass, but you want crazy ass bitch? Okay, yeah, now I remember her. If you've seen Rush Hour 2, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne was the narrator. Y'all probably know him from the Matrix films. I know he was in Predator. He was some. I think he was in John Wick 2, 3, and the new one as well. Working with Keanu Reeves. He's in another super movie. He played Perry White in Man of Steel from 23 and Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So he's done. You know, he never did this superhero movie, but he was in other superhero films as well. And Nolan North as Raphael, the hot-headed brother. Raphael's got the red mask with the size. He's the one that has the temper of the group, the one that gets angry sometimes. But Nolan North, y'all probably know him as uh, the voice of Nathan Drake from the Uncharted movies. I mean, video games, but he does have a cameo in the movie, I think. And he voices the Penguin in the Batman Arkham series. Michael Keller, James Lorna Taylor as Leonardo, who's the leader of the group, who's been training in Central America. But Leonardo's got the blue mask. He's got his swords, two swords that he fights with, and he's like the leader of the group. You know, James Arnold Taylor. Let's see, he's done voice work for. He voiced Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars animated series such as Star Wars Clone Wars. Johnny Test, he's done voices for that. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Some lines redubbed by Owen McGregor. Justice League New Frontier anime movie. He voiced Captain Cold. Superman Doomsday. He voiced an officer in that. Yeah. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. He voiced Mr. Hudson. Green Lantern. Yeah, he's Scooby Doo. So he's done a voice for some other animated movies. Mike Kelly is Michelangelo. He's the lighthearted and carefree brother who likes to joke around and always has a good sense of humor. Michelangelo, wears an orange mask and he's got the nunchucks. Mikey Kelly. He did the actors and support for like Scooby Doo and Cyber Chase. He voiced Bill, who was like the antagonist in that movie. Spoiler alert, sorry. Cars 3, he did a voice for that. Additional voices. The Fighter, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, additional voices. And Michelle Winford as John Taylor, who is the genius brother. He does all the techno with the technology stuff with the turtles. He's the smart turtle that comes up with all their gadgets. Uh, yeah, and Don Taylor wears the purple mask, and he's got the stick. or baton, if you want to call it that. He was in some live action movies too, like he was in My Cousin Vinny, Sergeant Bilko. John Tegman as Colonel Santos, a South American bandit group leader. There's quite a bit of voice work. Kevin Michael Richardson as General Outlook. I think the guy he voiced the Joker. I think in the Batman TV series from 2004, if I'm not mistaken. I just recognize that deep voice. Oh, and Lilo and Stitch. I'm trying to find it, but I think he did do. Yeah, okay, he did do the voice of the Joker, which I liked his voice. And here too, Paul Manton as General Stern, Fred Tanesk as General Sato. Can't say his name right, but he's just some other voice work as well. All right, and the film is directed by Kevin Monroe and written by him. He's known for working in Ratchet and Clank, which I heard was not a great movie either. He's done some work on TV series like Hey Arnold, The Ant Bully, the movie. He was concept artist in that movie. Ratchet and Clank, My Little Pony, the movie. So he hasn't done a whole lot of work. Based on characters created by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman, who created the Ninja Turtles. Produced by Thomas K. Gray, Helen Walker, Paul Wayne. Cinematography by Steve Lemire. Edited by John Damon Ryan. Music is by Klaus Balutz, who's done scores for films like The Polar Bear, The Pledge, Extreme Days, Time Machine, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of Black Pearl, Catwoman 2004. I'm sorry, that song. Those that soundtrack. So Constantine, which I love Constantine. Love that film. I reviewed that on my channel if you want to check that out. By the way, Poseidon, the remake from 2016 block starring Bruce Willis. Premonition with Sandra Bullock. He did the music score for that. Hope I'm reading it right. And for animated movies, or as you can put additional music like Prince of Egypt, the World Hans Zimmer on that, the Tiger movie, The Road to El Dorado, Mission Impossible 2, X-Men 2000, the first X-Men movie from 2000. Production companies MI Animation Studios, Chicago Warner Brothers, sorry, I'll stay still. Both in Scene, Hong Kong, the Western Company. First released March 17, 2007, in the German Chinese Theater. March 29th, 2007, Hong Kong. And March 23rd, here in the United States. The running time was 87 minutes long. The budget was $34 million, and the box office made $95.6 million worldwide. So I would say it was a slightly moderate success. I wouldn't call it a failure, but not a huge. It was not a huge success. It was a commercial success, but it got mixed reviews from critics. I guess Monroe said that he would like to direct a sequel to the film about the return of Shredder, which at the end they're planning it. I'll say spoilers. Would have loosely adapted the Turtles comic book City at War. Michelangelo would have felt rejected and joined the Foot Clan. The Turtles would have traveled to Japan and would have crossed paths with Kyra and Shredder. 1023 would have featured the Technodromes arrived from Dimension X. Monroe wanted Michael Duncan to voice the leader, Commander Mozo. But being a box office that led to its bankruptcy. They made the superhero movie Astro Boy. That's super. I guess I got to review that too. But that film was considered was a box office failure, and yeah, and the movie got rebooted in 2014 with directed by Michael Bay, so that never happened because the film itself was not a huge hit. It was a success, but the reviews were just mixed. I'm guessing at the time. And I'll give my own agenda on the movie, my own plot, my own thoughts on the movie. But here we go. The film's only 1 hour 27 minutes long, it's pretty short. Anyway, I don't want to be here all night, so the plot synopsis for the movie. So for TMNT 2007, what the story is about is that Splinter, who is the rat sensei, senses something amiss in New York City. His disciples, Leonardo, his turtles, his sons that he's been training to fight evil, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, have grown apart since their last adventure. The teenage Terbians must somehow renew and strengthen their bond as brothers if they are if they are to have any hope of defeating an evil industrious army of ancient monsters who are going to open a portal to another world. He's going to bring these monsters in, and these monsters are going to take over the world or rule over the earth. And the turtles have to, regain their brotherhood, and become a team. And along with the help of April O'Neil and, of who now owns a shipping company before April O'Neil, and their prime vigilante fighting best buddy Casey Jones with a hockey mask, have to kick some ass and take some names, and they have to save the world, save New York and the world from these monsters coming to take over the world. And they have to get their brotherhood back. So that's a plot in a nutshell. Here's the pun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to kick some shell at the end. So anyway, I'm done punning for a night. Okay. Know what you're thinking, Olivia? Your puns suck. Yeah, they do. Get over it. I'm just kidding. But I want to talk about the movie itself, and then I'm gonna give my final thoughts and opinion on the movie. Like I said, I think this film is decent. It's okay. I wouldn't even call it time much. I say the film's grown on me a little bit, but it just has the issues that bring it downhill for me a little bit. But it is still somewhat of a decent. It's a decent movie. There's some good in here, but I have a lot of problems with it too, which I will get to later. So this isn't a rant, I promise you. I do not hate this film. I know some people do. Some people are mixed on it. Some people hate it. Some people probably agree with me that it's okay. I could say it's, well, I'll probably call it how much, but after rewatching it, I did get some entertainment out of it. It's just a film that has many problems that, I'll get to why later. But for now, let me just talk about the movie itself. So the film opens up with a narration by Lawrence Fishburne talking about the turtles and that they fight crime. You see them running on rooftops, and of course being ninjas, staying hidden in the shadows and fighting evil. You know that we know the turtles can be in the sewers by the ooze that created them and Master Splinter. Splinter, you know the history if you've seen the 1990 movie. Well, I'll tell you. Splinter, his master was killed by Shredder. I don't know if it's in this version. Well, they want to continue. So yeah, his master was killed by that version, and they fought an enemy named Shredder, and of course Splinter got new karate, and he trained the turtles to do it to fight for good. But they have to hide in the sewers because of the way they look, because Splinter's talking big rat, and they're talking turtle, so they can't really just walk out in the world without people being freaked out by them. But it says that they defeated the Shredder, but his Dark Kara, she still has the Foot Clan around, but as the Foot Clan has been in hiding for some time, train them as ninja warriors. They protect the city from creatures and foes before they did defeat the Shredder, but then there's this new threat on the horizon. About 3,000 years ago in Central America tells the story of a warrior king named Yatu and his four generals and their quest to conquer all the kingdoms of the world. The five of them are conquered army arrive on the doorstep of their latest quarry and waste the land to their enemy soldiers. Yatu made in his quest. This is my problem with halfway the story. That Yatu is voiced by Patrick Stewart, but apparently he opens his portal, but his brothers become stone, and he becomes immortal. So it's the stars of Keon, which alliance once every 2,000 years. He performs a ritual. He gets a grants of immortality, but at a price. His brotherhood is turned to stone, and it allows entry for a 13th immortal monsters onto Earth. The monsters run wild and ravage Yatu's army and all his enemies at the same time. During the battle from the graveyard, the narrator states that the warlord was left to eternally. Sorry for my stirring. Maybe I'll read it like this. You guys can see me. All his enemies at the same time. To a graveyard. The narrator states that the warlord was left to walk the earth for eternity, unable to die or forget his horrible mistake. The narrator closes the curtain on his table by stating that the monsters they have released continue to plague mankind to the very day. Yeah, and of course, he wants to bring the monsters back. Well, just later. But we get to the present day. It's Central America. Leonardo has been he Leo has been living in the jungle where you have this guy attacking this woman, taking her stuff and stealing from her. Until you have this ghost of the jungle attack them, you know. And of course, it's Leonardo, who has been sent by Splinter to train for a year, but he's been gone for a little longer than that. And you know, he's seen fight this guy, and Leo's like sees him, which I thought was really good. Leo takes him out, and they say the ghost of the jungle, and that's what he's known as become. He's a myth invented by the townspeople by an unseen warrior who punished those who prey on the weak. Like I said, Leonardo takes him out. You know, he's got like a cloaking dagger just to hide his face. As you know, Splinter Samson's remote, become a better leader. April O'Neil visits that same village on a quest of her own, but she, you know, she's curious about it. She falls into a cave and then, you know, grabs Leonardo, you know, Leonardo's like, hey, April, been a long time. And he talks and she says, we really needed you at home. He's like, no, I can't go home right now. You know, Splinter, since you just here for a year, why have you come back yet? He's like, I just not ready. I'm not ready. When they talk about the brothers, how Raphael has become a vigilante known as the Night Watcher, fighting crime. Michelangelo has become like an entertainer, a comedy entertainer for little kids at birthday parties, wearing this funny mask and stuff. Donatello has a job, you know, with communications, talking to people on the phone. But the sad thing about this movie, right in the beginning, we have the turtles split apart for half the movie, for a bit of the movie, which is sad, you know. At least I thought so, because I like seeing the turtles together. And she tells him that she's on a mission for a businessman. He wants to get this collection of 3,000-year-old statues. God, statues to run a business. Oh my, sorry, my phone. But you know, letting him know that turtles are growing apart. You see, Raphael is the Night Watcher. Splinter, he's doing, you know, he's just as usual, just being the master and being there for the brothers. You know, Raphael does sleep a lot because he's the Night Watcher, which you know he keeps it a secret from the family. Um, you see him fighting some crimes. He takes some guys out. He's got these chains where he can fight, which I thought was pretty cool. He's got a motorcycle. Yeah, and then you see Casey Jones, who she's you know at the river, or not the river, but she's on this ship and she comes back with the artifact, waiting for Casey. She's like, Casey, you want me here? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. You know, I couldn't make it. The alarm broke, and they go to Patrick Stewart, Yahoo, whatever his name is, Yahoo, Yahoo, whatever his name is, and they tell him, here you go, sir. And Casey accidentally breaks the vase, which I thought was funny. He's like, you know me, I'm unbreakable, and break something, and they give him the statue. And you find out that he's working with Kira as partners in the Foot Clan, having them find these monsters, these 13 monsters he's looking for. Yeah, Michelangelo comes home, you know, in the truck. I do like seeing Michelangelo in the sewers on a skateboard. I thought that was a really awesome, badass moment, you know, cool moment. And it was like, you know, being a hero, being tough, you know, and watching TV. But those days are over, Mikey. Yeah, they're over, Raphael says. Uh, Leonardo, you know, gets on a plane, you know, does a jump, skis back, jumps into the water, gets back in the sewers, and tells his brothers hi and stuff. And he tells Master Splinter hi. And I kind of don't like what they do with Leonardo here. He's like, I, I thought he kind of became a dickhead, and it was really mean for him to disappear for all those years. Well, no longer than a year, doesn't say. But it did feel like a good while that he abandoned them, and that if you want to be a good leader, you need to be there for your team. At least I think. But Splinter's like, no, I forgive you. I have no reason to forgive you. Mako does a good job with the voice. It's not him, it's the writing that I have an issue with here. Where, he's like, oh, I forgive you. At least Splinter will be a little angry with him. Like, why did you not come back? He said, gives him a medal, and I'm like, you nearly tore this family apart. Your brother's apart. You know, and all these things have happened. And he's like, I'll be a better leader. He says hi to Ralph, and Ralph's like, hi, Ralph. Even Ralph Question's like, really? He's been gone for this long, and you're just gonna you know, give him a medal. But eventually, uh, Ralph goes back to fight Little Crime. He tries to fight this guy. He's like, "Didn't I see you last time?" He never knock him out. Casey Jones shows up in this match. He's like, "Come on, Ralph, I know it's you." And he talks to Ralph. He's like, uh, Leonardo and says, "I can't believe this happened. Splinter's favorite him and stuff." He's like, "Well, he's your brother. You're gonna work it out, I guess." And he's like, "Yeah, me and April were doing well. We have a good relationship. We live together, but it's just been a little hard for us." While he's talking, Raphael falls asleep, which I thought was funny. Well, he said he knew it because he's like, "Well, Raph, you're big and you like a turtle, so it's pretty easy to figure out." And he admits to him that also he wants to, you know, thinks Leo's a fearless leader to come back. That Ralph, I can understand Ralph's intentions that he wanted to fight crime and fight for good and fight evil. Because crime doesn't really take a break, and Leo was gone too long. Oh, Winters, that's his name, Winters. Winters has with these four stone generals together, brings them back to life, and he wants them to bring back 13 monsters. These 13 monsters, awaken them from 3,000 year slumber. The brothers do have to fight, have to train. He just is young, they go out in the surface, which Splinter told him not to do. No fighting, but of course, Raphael doesn't listen. They go for a fight because they see the fucking and Michael is like, "Oh, we're just gonna enjoy this," and they do fight this monster, this big huge monster. Pretty good, decently fight. But eventually, they beat the monster, or the monster gets caught by the statues that are working for Winter. And he tells Kara, "I trust you, but I trust my family brothers more." So, that's that. And they spent most of the time in the movie finding these 13 monsters. Since it's a 87-minute movie, you don't have a lot of time to fight each monster, so you can see a montage of it, you know. And even Leo talks about, doesn't like the Night Watcher, that he's a vigilante, that he wants to stop him. Uh, and Raphael defends his own actions with the Night Watcher's actions, but he doesn't tell him that somebody had to do something while you were gone. Yeah. And Leo has a bit of a fight with the Kira, and she's like, "You will be gone soon." The brothers recover from the fight, and they don't tell SpongeBob like, "Good morning, sons." He's like, "I'm going to watch my favorite show," and he says something that was funny. And then SpongeBob sees what they don't. He's like, "Boys," talks to them, and Raphael was just pissed. Raphael's like, "I'm out of here. I'm out of here." You know, and he's like, "Leonardo, there was no Leonardo. Leonardo." SpongeBob tells him, "You were responsible. You were the lead brother, the oldest brother. You were supposed to be responsible for their actions. You can't continue to file service if you're at war with each other." He leaves to meet up with Casey. He meets up with Casey. They see who's still in the monsters. kidnapping the monsters. But Ralph gets shot at. Well, they shoot a dart at him. This, that she sees him, they should go up there and get him on the building. They close the door on him. Well, slam the door, trying to hide. Monster trying to break down the door, but eventually the cops show up. The statue monster runs away. You know, and Ralph passes out. They figure out why, and they see, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Leo come over, take from Casey's apartment. They see him passed out. They get they try to investigate. At least Donatello does. I like when April was practicing her sword fighting skills. That was pretty cool. And when she knows when she sees him go out to fight Crown Casey, she's like, "Well, be careful." I forgot to mention Leo. Uh, April and Casey were happy to see him back. He's like, "Sorry, it's not better under circumstances." And he gets on Raphael. Like, "How could you do that? How could you go on your own?" And the turtles investigate. They find out that these monsters are from this past. That it's another portal. April tells them the story of Yatu and the soldiers, and that they realize that these monsters, if they come from the portal, come to our Earth, that they can take over the world. So the turtles have to, you know, they might, she realizes Max Winters. She recognizes that he's up to something. That he's lived for many centuries. Donnie sees that the dart has been pulled out of Ralph's arm. Finds out it says Winter Corp on it. So I'm like, yeah. They want to find Ralph. Ralph wants to find the general. But Leo says that they need to just think things through. Report back to SpongeBob. Ralph is impatient. Ralph is like, you know what? I can't deal with this. I quit, and he walks out to investigate Winters himself. Ralph is a Nightcrawler. Tries to investigate Winters Towers. Yeah. However, Aquila, one of the brothers, questions Winter's actions. That he doesn't want to find 13th. Well, he wants to find 13th monster. Apparently, General Aquila, wants to keep his immortality, but he wants to take it from them or bring them more again because he wants them to understand it's been horrible. Well, but as statues for a long time, Aquila has gone insane and they want to be immortal all over the earth. So mainly, Winters has good intentions that he wants to end immortality, and stop this madness, but Aquila wants to keep on doing it. Let's say, oh, starts with Keon. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, 24 hours early of Winter's Towel. That happens every 3,000 years. Legend is correct. Leo storms up to declaring that Ralph is a liability. He's too dangerous. He's just stubborn. He's just stubborn. And Splinter says, "You need to make amends with your brother." Leo heads off to find him. And he forces his generals that Tilly tells his brothers that they're going to break it. He's going to break the curse. So they're going to avoid the capture of the 13th monster. So they set a kidnap one of the turtles. That is Leo a little later on. Ralph continues the patrol. He fights this little Jersey Devil monster. He's like, "Oh, you're cute. Come here, little fella." And he bites him. And he's a bit fighting out like a musical here. And he like puts some smoke pellets in his mouth. Makes it go away. And this is like, "I think I'm here to rob you. I'm here to help you." It's like, "Oh, you're a kid." The book that's voiced by Kevin Smith. and Raphael chases him. He runs away. Doesn't say nothing because if he uses his voice properly, and he's like, "Oh, Leonardo tells him to not watch." Like, "I respect what you're doing, I really do, but what you're doing is wrong. Going to get somebody hurt. This is not for you." And they both fight. Raphael, Leo gives a punch. He's like, "Raphael, it was you the whole time. Well, somebody had to do something, brother, because you were out for a long time." He's like, "I did it for you, and so become a leader, become a better team." His brother's like, "No, you screwed that over." And Raphael's got a point. I like Raphael's gonna get the side swords out. They fight, which all fans of TMT and shows want to see them fight. They do. And you know what? And I hated it when Leo said, "I'm better than you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a dick." Leo, wow, you got a big dick. You got a big dick, don't you, Leo? Dickhead for saying that. And rightfully so. Raphael gives him a good ass kicking though. Does put up a good fight, and I like it when they're fighting with the swords at the side and the knives, and they're with each other until the sides break Leo's swords, and he knocks Leo out. And I'm sorry, Leo had that coming just for being a prick. I'm like, wow. If you become the game of great literally, you think you're just better than him. I'm like, yeah, wow. you know, I just don't get the whole point. He has to go to Session America to be better later, but came more of an ass when he came back. But Raphael felt bad for almost killing his brother, just runs away and crying in tears. Not crying, just running in anger. And then Leo gets attacked by the generals. They knock him out, and Raphael can't do nothing about it. He's like, oh, and he goes to apologize. And he's like, I've done something bad. They got Leo. They got Leo. And they tell, Raphael, what are we going to do? He's like, Raphael, you just need to cloud your anger, cloud your judgment. You need to be better. If you would control that anger, have more control over it, you could be a good leader too. And he just sort of, kneel down to him and, bows to his master and tells him sorry. He's like, that's okay, my son. And he definitely lives a better samurai. Raphael's never got to be a leader. Maybe not, but Raphael has more of a good heart, I think, than Leo. I'm not saying Leo doesn't, but, you know, at least Ralph fought with his heart and wanted to fight evil. It's just that maybe he shouldn't go on his own like he should. But again, you can't blame Ralph sometimes. Yeah, he may not be Splinter's favorite student at times. That doesn't make him Splinter's least favorite son, though. He tells Raphael that he's strong, passionate, and loyal to a fault, which is a quality of a great leader, but only when they are tempered with compassion and humanity. That's following Splinter's words in honor. I do like that element. Splinter says that the time to hide is over. They decide that they're going to go to Winter's Tower and fight these monsters in the plan for helping them out. Get the rest of the game back together. Ralph says that they're going to go there and fight. So I do like Ralph as being leader for now. They prepare to open the gate. Winters has his tower open. He throws a line. Everything is ready. Ralph is Leo just passed out. They substitute him for the monsters. Everyone Casey suit up. She gets some. That could be the end of the world. Yeah, she's got a cool suit. She gives him a cool new hockey mask, which I'm not sure of, but he's got a cool new one. And Casey's able to distract her long enough for the gang to hop the fence because he wears that mask that Michelangelo has, which I thought was funny. The stars finally sign and Winters appears before the door's opening, wearing his armor. And he recognizes the general treachery and tells him, he's like, "You are not my brother." Achilles says, "You're trying to, we want to be more, we want to live." He's like, "No, trust me, you don't want to live with this pain. It tortures you for many, many years." And instead of not listening, they nearly take him out. And they said to follow Winters. The, the Kira does. They tell Kira, the clan, go fight. And they're going to go fight the last monster. that his time's come in, that his age of general, that his age is just beginning. The Turtles put on April Casey, recent event. Some good music score by the way, some good action in there, fighting them all, and I like when they're teaming up as a family, as a team. You know, when they fight and they're able to get into the building before the monsters can come in. They, Ralph breaks something. I mean, not Ralph, Kiki breaks something. It's like, hey, me and my good personality. They break in. They see what's happening. They get Leonardo out. Michelangelo thinks, Leo, you in there? He's like, no, ah. I thought it was funny. They get him out. Yeah, yeah. Leo recovers, wakes up, and gives a new pair. He gives his brother the Katana Blades, telling him that they'll need it if they're going to lead him to victory. He's like, they're saying that Ralph, no, I need you. So they decide to team up. Winters comes crashing down at their feet. They think him at dead first, but he's not dead. They question him, but they tell him that they think he's the villain, but he tells them that he's not. They smell the monsters back to where they came from about penance, to send the 13th monster back from whence they came to redeem himself and the generals of the actions they have done to the world, to more importantly reporting the monsters to their homeland. The turtles fight the generals. They do pretty good in the fight. They get them in there. They throw them in the portal, but it won't kill them because they're immortal. But thanks to April and Casey, who driving the car with Kira, and they're like, they're arguing, and Kira's like, so these two can't even get along. They, you know, they ran the monster in there. The monster jumps in the portal along with the generals, killing the generals for good because he's for the mortality, the sea monster. And they win a victory. Casey's like, next time I'm driving, April falls down and goes down, and they share a kiss. You know, and Winter's just happy and he's smiling and he's laughing. He's like, thank you for saving me. Yeah, and he thanks April that he had on for long to help him out. And he's like, now I have to die. And Raphael wants to come say something like appreciates what he did and sees that he was just trying to redeem himself. He wasn't a villain. He may have been a long time ago, but he redeemed himself. He thanks the turtles and Splinter for making old man very happy. Then he ascends to the afterlife. He dies, and I like it though when there's like sparkles and Michelangelo will start sneezing. Thought that was hilarious. Splinter puts Splinter's uh, helmet on the trophy case in honor of his redemption. Ralph asks, "You got room for one more?" Then hangs the mantle of his Night Watcher. Then Michelangelo asks if we can hit this cowabunga Carl up there, which I thought was hilarious. The turtles wrap up the film. Free run of the dead night there in the night. The shadows just run on top of the hills, preparing to fight evil. And you have Raphael says, "We live together. We train together. We fight together. We stand for good together. We are ninjas. We strike hard, defend and protect, and, and fade into the night." I forgot to mention though, Kira told them that there will be another fight, and there's a hint that Shredder will be back. But anyway, I'm sorry to go over my reviews. And there ain't no bad guy or monster that's never going to change that. That's what's important. That's what's important. Yeah, and Raphael jumps to the side, and you can just with the sides jump into the camera, and with the credits rolling, he's like, "Oh, I love being a turtle." And then the movie ends there, and that's TMT from 2007. Yeah, yeah. Raphael says, you were so smart. You think the world was around you. You don't. We couldn't possibly survive without the mighty and powerful Leonardo to guide us through our problem zone. Well, I've got a newsflash for you. We got along just fine without you. Oh, and this clothes is just fine. Dressing up like it's Halloween every night, risking the safety of our family. I mean, come on. What were you thinking? Don't push it, Leo. You can leave home and come back except when you fall in line again like your little soldiers. Hey, I was trained to be a better leader for you. Why do you hate me for that? And whoever said I wanted to be a lead, I'm better off calling my own shots. I guess get used to it. You aren't ready. You are impatient and hot-tempered, and more importantly, I'm better than you. Yeah, I don't like that dialogue. Only you. I only like Ralph's dialogue. Oh, I know something, Big Brother. I can disagree with you on that one. Don't do this, Ralph. I'm done taking orders. Again, I don't blame him. I have nightmares about birthday parties, Raphael says. I mean, Mikey says, sir, do you turn the computer on? Have you plugged it in? Yeah, that would help. No, I'm not playing that hard again. I'm telling you, sir, it's not that kind of phone line. I'm your enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm just Donnie. Your friendly tech support up to you for 24 hours a day, sir. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Hey, good morning, Mons. Good morning, Sensei. What's up? Can't this piece of junk go any faster? You want to drive? I would, as a matter of fact. You think they would be more concerned about the 13th monster? Why does everyone have such a hard time believing I'm a good guy? Funny thing about anger, it lets consume you and soon enough you'll lose sight of everything. Why couldn't you have sent him away to train? Don't tell the home has become like an empty shell. Each of your brothers have strengths and weaknesses. You must learn to be strong when they are weak. If you cannot, then this family is lost. So some good dialogue in the film, but it's about, like, yeah, it's only 11:25. And I do want to upload this video for tonight, so I'm going to finish up, give you my final thoughts on this movie, folks, and I will be done. Maybe some more reviews coming on the weekend, okay? But give my final opinion on TMT. Like I said, this movie is okay in my opinion. It's decent. It's just an okay movie. I do like it for what it is. But before I get to my problems, okay, first of all, the story. Some of the story I do like. Well, it is sad to see the brothers missed apart, but I mostly like Raphael and what he's doing in the story. That he's just trying to fight for justice. I mean, Raphael has learned things to like control his temper and not jump into situations, but his heart is in the right place, I think, and I don't blame him for being mad. The story about them trying to become brothers, and they do become brothers again at the end. And when they fight, the generals at the end, then become brothers and teaming up. That was awesome, and then becoming brothers in the end. That was good to see because they are brothers, and I like the turtles. I like them being brothers, and yeah, I think that was a movie about about being a team, about being brothers, and they just love being turtles. Yeah, and the voice cast I think it is pretty good. I do like all the voice actors: Chris Evans, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Mako May rest in peace. I do like him as a voice of Splinter. I thought he was great. I like Patrick Stewart, and the guys that Lawrence Fishburne did a good job of narrating. The voice cast for the Turtles, they were good too. Nolan North, James Arnold Taylor, Mikey Kelly, and Michelle Michelle Mitchell Whitfield. They were all great. I think they were good as the Ninja Turtles, and they look like turtles. I think the CGI animation looks good in my opinion. I like the way of New York City how it looks. I like yeah, Ralph being the Night Watcher. That was pretty cool. That was pretty good. The directing and writing is fine. The story isn't the strongest though. Before I get to that, I do think the action was good. The action was pretty good when it was there. It wasn't the best action in the world in a Turtles movie, but it was good. The editing I thought was good. The fight scenes I thought was good. Cinematography, the way New York City looks is great, and CGI animation. I think the Turtles look good in animation. That's just my personal opinion. I think they look good. It looks better than the Michael Bay ones, which they look like, super chuds or giant turds, teenage mutant turds. That's what I'm calling ninja turds, teenage mutant ninja turds. You know, because they look like, you know, it's bad CGI. Those films had both of those, the 2014 film and the Out of the Shadows movie. Those films, the CGI was awful in those movies, complete terribly. Honestly. And the story, now this film does not have a good story, does not have a great story or a story that's good, makes sense. But hell, at least I can tolerate it. I can tolerate the story. Before I get to all that though, the action I said and stuff was good. Some of the early moments are good. Now, let me get to my problems with the movie, which there's quite a few of them. My problem is the story itself, the whole thing about this 3000, these soldiers coming back from time, and then the monsters. Okay, I don't mind the monsters being there. I like the monsters being there. I mean, if you look at the Ninja Turtles cartoon from the 80s, yeah, they fight, they can fight magic, mystical stuff, or creatures, or from other dimensions. The teenagers from the of the dimensions. If you've seen the cartoon, so the cartoon and stuff can be that crazy and wild. It's turtles, so it can be bizarre, and it works for that. And in the cartoon, 2003 core, they can fight magic as well. Uh, I think they're talking Triceratops in the 2003 cartoon. I'm not kidding, and they fought monsters before, so it's nothing new to Ninja Turtles. So they have fought monsters before that are bizarre, you know, like Bebop and Rocksteady, and of course the Shredder. Shredder's still my favorite enemy. But it does give it hints if we would have gotten a sequel, but I don't think a sequel happened because I think mainly the problem is the story. And I get it. He wanted to give the story a darker edge. I can understand why Kevin Monroe wanted to get off that because with Teenage Mutant Turtles 3, the film not only sucked because of the story. I mean, yes, it could be interesting, but the story is not very good in the third film. It's just trash, in my opinion. The 14th film in the show is even worse. I'm sure Mina Mayhem is too. But the problem with the third movie, Teenage Mutant Turtles 3, the humor is for like 5-year-olds. And you're saying, well, Teenage Mutant Turtles is for kids. No, I like Teenage Mutant Turtles. Like I said, these two movies, I love these two movies, the best Ninja Turtle movies. The humor works in them. You don't have to have childish humor. Now, TMNT, yes, can be for kids, but it can be for adults too. And people that have grown up with it. We're watching the original movie. It's fun. And this film does a good job telling, of them making feel like brothers, especially giving Leo and Ralph, a brotherly moment in the movie. And this movie failed to do that in my opinion. I get it. It was a time also where in 2000s, where some superhero movies like Spider-Man 2 was a huge success. Some of them were big hits at the box office. Some superhero movies were making good money at the time, so that's why they probably wanted to bring the Turtles back. I just don't think they could because at the time you had some superhero movies in the 90s that were not so good, or was not all, but I guess it just Turtles 3 really killed it for a while. And I get it, Kevin Munro want to take it more seriously. I can understand that, but his story writing is not very good. I'm sorry, he should have given the script to somebody else. Could make it dark and serious. But when the humor's there, the humor's good, but the story makes no sense. I don't get the whole thing with the past of Yeti and his generals, then being immortal, and then the monsters, which I don't mind fighting monsters, but that whole thing was just not, and then teaming up with Kira and yeah, that didn't really make much sense. That story doesn't make any sense. It's confusing in my opinion, you know. And you didn't need Leonardo Central America. But don't get me wrong, Leonardo's a good character. He's a good leader. He's a good leader. He loves his brothers, and he's a good leader to protect them and be there for them when they need them. He's the mature, level-headed one that's always there and fights for his family and to protect his family. But in this film, I don't like Leo. Leo just, he left for too long, and his brothers grew apart. And if you want to be a true leader, you need to be there for your team. You don't leave them for that long, and then come back and then tell one of them, "I'm better than you." I'm like, that's just a dickhead thing to say. Leo, not until the climax of the movie, he becomes likable again. But after the movie, he's just a dick. Just the things he says, And I don't blame Raphael for just quitting. I would have done the same thing, because he's not being a leader. He's just acting like he's all that and a leader and stuff. And you're acting like you're better. And you're saying you're better. I'm like, that's you know, kind of being a douche. I'm sorry, Leo. You're a likable prick in this movie. I like him in the first two movies. Third movie is all the personalities are halfway the same because they're all telling stupid childish jokes like, whoa, you know, so stupid, you know. But yeah, I like Leo in the first two movies, especially the first movie. Yeah, yeah. In the cartoon, Leo felt, in the 2003 cartoon, just sorry, he gets really mad. He hurts Splinter, gets into a little fight with Splinter, hurts him, and Splinter sends him to go be a better leader. Why couldn't he just have somebody train Leo instead of Leo being Ghost of the Jungle? Don't we already have that in the Phantom? But anyway, no, that's a different movie. Anyway, you could have had him do some training. They could have done that in there and make it a better story. And then have Leo in the beginning come up, but Leo's like, no, I don't want to go back home. I like what they do with Mikey though, with him being an entertainer for children. That was funny. And Donatello being, technology and stuff. Tech. That was. And Raphael was my favorite character in the movie. And I love Mako as Lena. He's great. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Chris Evans, I thought they were pretty good. They were decent. They're better than Megan Fox, in my opinion. Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's better than Megan Fox, way better. And Chris Evans, why I think he's a decent Casey Jones, he's a lot better than Stephen Amell. I love Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, and Arrow, but he's no Casey Jones in my opinion. Yeah. But we'll get to those movies, Michael Bay ones, a little later down the road in 2010 eras of my superhero reviews when I get to the 2010s eras. Yeah, the story's the problem. Sometimes the humor doesn't always work. Try to be funny, then tries to be serious. I mean, the tone is kind of all over the place. You're trying to be dark, and then you're trying to add some humor in there, and then you're adding the story that doesn't make any sense, and you're making Leo a dick. I'm all for a Dark Ninja Turtles movie, but this film didn't work. I'd have to say I like Turtles Forever, where the 2003 cartoon and the 80s cartoon Turtles they all team up, which I thought was pretty cool, and some other Turtles from other timelines team up as well, dimensions or whatever. That was a pretty good movie. I really liked that film. I think that film was a better animated movie than this. That's a Turtle Forever. I'll be reviewing that as well because that came out in 2009, but that won't be for a while, for a bit. But again, Kevin Monroe, the script, the story, I thought was the weakest part. Let me see. Yeah, and the CGI animation I think was good, but the story itself, just the film story, makes it forgettable, in my opinion. This is a okay movie. Does the action is entertainment, sometimes the humor works, but just those are my problems with the movie. Just the story hurts this film the worst, and the way Leo acts, and what they did with the story. This film just tries too hard. It's trying, with the tone, it's trying to be dark and serious. Have this story about a general from 70s. Like, you could have just had another Ninja Turtles. You could have brought back Shredder. I'd rather have Shredder, to be honest. But that's just me. We didn't have him in the third movie. You could have had him in here. But I get it. They want we've had Shredder in two other movies, so just bring in a turtle villain and hell, bring in the Rat King. I think they have a Rat King villain called Rat King, don't they? Yeah, I think I remember that. That would have been maybe cool to see. Or Krang, you know, then fight Krang or something like that. That would have been cool. Or just to have a different Turtles villain in there. But this whole thing would go. I mean, I like Patrick Stewart, but his character wasn't all that interesting in my opinion. And yeah, the scenes with them talking to the monster that was not very interesting. Story wasn't very interesting. Was not very interesting to watch. Kind of brings the film down. You need for a superhero movie, you gotta have a good story. And I do like it then they become brothers. But the sad thing is, the turtles they're apart in the beginning of the movie. They're not working together. They're apart, and that's really sad to see in my opinion in this movie. I want to see the turtles work together, being brothers. But we gotta wait to the end for them to team up. You know, and almost in the middle act of the movie, and the third act they finally team up, fight like brothers. So you have to wait for like the climax for them to finally have a good fight together. You know, yeah. And I think the film needed a stronger story. I think that's the biggest problem. You need a stronger story. I get it, Kevin Monroe wanted to take it more seriously and stuff, but your tone of the movie just didn't really work for me. It's just kind of all over the place. The tone needs to be more consistent in the movie. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know what else I can say about it. But Team 2007, it's an okay movie. I mean, at this time, I'll probably say it's a decent time waster in my opinion. It's a time waster at best, but it's still better than what we got afterwards. But that's not saying. Well, it's just kind of bad though. When I'm thinking of the Michael Bay ones and Munich shit, Munich Mayhem, because I can never tell I'm not gonna like those films. At least the CGI animation is better in here, and the humor works at times. It's just a film that's a letdown in my opinion because I think it needed a stronger story. You know, especially the turtles working together. I think it really needed more. It just needs a lot more work in my opinion, especially with the story. That's all I can say about the Team 2007 movie, guys. Tell me in the comments my rating for this film. I'm gonna give it a so-so for thumbs. I'm gonna my rating for TMT 2007. I'm gonna give this film 3 out of 5 stars. My rating for this film once again is 3 out of 5 stars. So tell me in the comments down below. What do you guys think of TMT in your opinion? Did you like it or did you hate it? And stay tuned next if we do some reviews tomorrow. I'm thinking the next two will be Marvel reviews, and then yeah, the next two are Marvel reviews, and the next one won't be, but I think it's a Disney film. Yeah, and another Marvel animated feature film. Oh, nope, nope. To show this one off. Next will be to revisit reviews, starting with this one, and that will be a revisit review for the 2007 superhero film starring Tobey Maguire, James Franco, Kristen Dunst, Thomas Hayden Church, Topher Grace, Bryce Dallas Howard, James Cromwell, Rosemary Harris, and J.K. Simmons. And that will be Spider-Man 3, a revisit review for Spider-Man 3, which might be a rant coming up next. I don't know, folks. Yeah, but stay tuned tomorrow for this, for Spider-Man 3. Hope I get a review tomorrow. Here's the disc. Sorry. Might not do this in my review, so I'll show it to you now. Where he gets the black suit in this one. I'm gonna say my opinion for Spider-Man. I'm not gonna say anything to it now. That's why I called it a revisit review. To tell you my opinion later on it. But anyway, guys, stay tuned for this. And again, what did you think of TMT 2007? In your opinion, did you like it or did you hate it? Or do you think it's an okay film? Do you love it though? Do you think it's underrated? Do you feel that, in my opinion, that it's okay, it's decent, it's a decent time waster, or do you just hate the film? Tell me in the comments down below, guys. What do you think of this movie in the comments down below? Again, my rating for this film is 3 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned more for my revisit review for Spider-Man 3. Coming up next. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.